Growing Healthy is an initiative funded by Durham County Council to bring the nutritional and physical health benefits of gardening to children and communities. It works with schools to create a growing area in their school grounds and then to plant, grow and eat fruit and vegetables. Classes have adopted plots in their school gardens and then teachers have had training so they can confidently use these garden areas with their children and as part of the curriculum. We've involved parents and community members right from the start of the process so that the benefits will last way beyond the life of the project.
We dig a little hole, then we put the seeds in there and then we put the mud over the seed and water them until they grow.
Well, the children were involved quite a lot in the planning of the garden. They decided where they wanted things. We had several, I think we did about 8-hour sessions where they drew maps, they walked around the garden designing things, they did posters. They had to think of why they wanted parts in the garden.
When we were going to plant the flowers, we were going to attract the bees so the bees could go to their beehives and make all the honey and that. So that's why we were very careful when we were choosing which kind of flowers we were going to have.
So we've used the garden in a variety of ways in a variety of different subjects across the different age ranges as well.
We normally do the potatoes like near autumn and winter kind of places, and then we'll do the carrots kind of near summer.
We've done lots of work about planting seeds and then the children have followed that up by writing instructions about how to plant seeds and following through at the steps that they've gone through.
In the initial stages of creating the garden, the children were involved in working out prices on a budget.
We've done lots about counting different seeds and counting in groups, different things like that. And then once we've planted them, thinking about when they start to grow, keeping a graph of their development.
In my class year 4, we've used it as inspiration for poetry writing. So we went outside with iPads to take photographs and once we were outside the children were expected to use their senses, sight, touch, taste, all kinds of different things to use when we got back into the classroom. The poems that they created from that were absolutely amazing. The vocabulary that we got from them was fantastic, and I think the reason behind that was the fact that it was so hands-on. They were seeing it, they were experiencing it, rather than showing them something on the board or in a book. It was there in front of them.
Shiny, delicious apples singing with fire and lighting up the stars, bursting with flavour, red as cold tiny tots' cheeks. Long, strong runner beans like long, smooth, fragile fingers. Gorgeous rhubarb leaves as green as grass. Soft, fragile, long leaves in a hard, spiky pot. Long, crumply onions in soft, crumply soil. Mouth-washing mint jumping out of my mouth.
We had regular meetings and we looked at what was coming up in certain subjects and how we could link the garden to that.
One of the teachers actually set up, they were doing a story in English about dragons, and they had set up old bones into the nature area, and the children had to go and hunt through the nature area to find the old dragon bones. So it was a really good experience for the children because they believed in the fairy tale.
In year 5 they used it to support work on World War II and the Dig for Victory campaign. The obvious links for the future would be in science, mini beasts, habitats and things like that.
I can see an improvement because it is practical and it's hands-on and it's motivation for them if they are doing the maths but they're doing it for a purpose, and also if they've planted the seeds then they see the plants start to grow and they want to work hard because they can see the process happening.
Because it's like you've done something and you're really glad about that you've done it.
But I would recommend as the project goes on, as we've learned, that you need to have a supply of outdoor clothing, Wellingtons for the children, because you do get a few parents that complain about the uniforms being dirty. The children don't mind getting dirty at all, they absolutely love it. They're picking worms up, taking worms home, taking snails home.
I really like the weeding because I like to get my hands dirty, and that was the perfect job for it. And I was just getting my hands in and it was really fun, I really enjoyed it.
It's been really good for the children that may find some work in class a little bit difficult, so your lower achievers. Giving them responsibilities been absolutely fantastic.
And Mrs Shaw's class was full of like boisterous boys that wouldn't settle, and we thought if we could get them outside, use some of the energy up, they might focus on literacy.
I had 4 boys who were quite low ability, and they struggled with quite a lot of the academic side of school, and so we decided that as their reward for working hard and completing their tasks throughout the day, they would get the chance to go outside in the garden. They planted onions and they planted cabbages and all different things, and it just gave them a real boost and a bit of self-confidence, and it boosted their self-esteem because that was their special thing that they got to do. And also they loved the reward afterwards. When they'd grown their onions and their cabbages, they then got to take them proudly to Lillian in the kitchen, and then when they were having their dinner they could say, they're our onions that we grew.
I know I'm learning, definitely. Just it's not, you don't write anything, which is amazing. I didn't think it was possible to learn without writing.
We've linked the garden into keeping fit. So we've used projects where we've actually took the children outside to look at the vegetables and encourage them to eat healthy through doing the healthy plate.
Louise will actually come over to the garden and she gets involved with the garden at home. And likes of peas she's tried this year, straight out of the pods in the garden, which is a favourite of mine. With growing them, it does encourage them to maybe try something. If they don't like them, fair enough, but they're getting to try it and hopefully learn to like things.
She cooked some broad beans for us, and I didn't really think I would like them or not, and then I tried one and I loved them.
Yeah, it does taste better because you've grown it yourself rather than buying it.
Now I tried tomato because at first I just didn't like the look of it, and I just thought I didn't like it, but then when I tried it, it was delicious, so I started eating it.
You also need not just your staff on board, you need volunteers from the community, parents, grandparents, other helpers.
We'll have a day where we'll get the parents to come in and we'll sell some of the vegetables to raise cash. We've got grandparents coming in to teach the children their skills. And all the little children just love listening to the granddads that come in.
We wanted to transform the school's routine into one that benefits the environment. I think it gives the children a real sense of responsibility in understanding that they have a role to play. Children sometimes have the attitude that one person can't change things, but then when they come together and they see things happening, they realise that yes, they can have an impact on the world and they can have an impact on the environment. They go home and talk to the families, and that encourages their families to do things at home that help the environment. They'll take that into the wider community.